Welcome back to the 11th video. So first thing that we'll do is just have it so that the mummy can get hit at least twice, and you can fix it to 3 times or 4 times, whatever you want. So we'll do that first, and then we'll get into the animation there as well. So I'm going to go back into the, if I can get to it here, there we go, into the mummy script, okay? And we're going to come up to the top here, and probably in the serialize field, because this has got all the die and stuff. Yes, so in the serialized field here, we're going to put in the health. Okay, so we're going to create, and again, this is just so you could change it inside the game, and we'll set that to an int, and we'll just call it health, and by default, we'll set it to 2. All right, so we've got a health of 2, and then just in here, it doesn't really matter, I guess just here, we'll just create a variable that will just be an int, and just call it sort of current health. And that will just keep track of it. We don't need to see that, so that's why we're just putting it there, not a serialized field. Good. All right, so I guess when we start, we've got to set the health. So on alive there, we'll set the current health to be our health, right? So that's just basically going to, every time the mummy spawns, it's going to be set to 2. All right, now one thing, just before I do that, what we will do is create a little bool to check, so a boolean, to check to see if we are alive, basically. So we'll create a bool, and this is, we'll call it alive. And this is a lambda statement, so we'll just sort of go in like this. We'll set it to be, so alive will be the current health is, I guess, greater than 0. So if we're a 2 or a 1, we're still alive. And if we're below that, game over, right? Or the enemy's dead at least. So what we'll do next, let me just see here. We got so much to do. So awake, we set the health, we're good. On the on collision enter. So we've got our if the blaster shot does not equal null, we're going to die. Well, we don't necessarily want to die right away, right? So what we'll do is we'll set the current health minus. We'll decrement that so we lose a health. Now what we need to do is we need to check if you're alive. So if not alive, I guess. So if you're not alive, you will die. Right, so then we'll run this death animation. So let me just put that in there. See if that nice, there we go. Right, so that makes sense. So if, well, first off, right, just clean this up here. So first off, if you get hit by the blaster shot, right, then you're going to drop your current health. Then it's going to check to see if it's greater than 0. If it is, right, then you're alive. You don't die. But if it is, 0, then you're going to run die. So because your alive is going to be false. Okay, so that is one thing there. Let me just see what else I need to do here. In our update, I think that's okay. In our update here, basically, if you're not alive, we don't want it to do any of this. So let's just go in here. If not alive, right? Return. So that would prevent it from doing anything, okay? So if you're not alive, don't bother doing any of this, right? That will make life a bit easier. And I think the last little bit is if the attack is completed, because we're having a little problem where when the attack was hit, but you killed it and the attack completed, it was sort of activating that nav mesh again. So what we'll do here is just sort of wrap this around. So if the alive, right? So if they're alive, they should be able to navigate. Okay. I think we're going to be good there. So let's see. No issues found. Save it up. Go back to Unity. Okay, good. So we'll check here. I don't think we've got any problems. So now it should be 2. 1, 2. Okay, so good. He died. And I mean, it seems to be working, right? That we've got that ability. Because he's shooting all the time. Let me just see if I can get to there. And Doesn't seem to be. Yeah, I think it's working fine there. So with those changes, we should be good, and we could on our player, sorry, not on our player, but on our mummy, you could get it to set the health to 5 or whatever the case is, and then that way, it's going to take 5 shots to kill it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess there, right? So we can set that up. The one thing we want to do, though, is we want to give it a little bit of reaction so that when he does get hit, maybe he sort of staggers or stumbles. So we're going to do something very similar before, right? We're going to go to the animator and bring in our hit animation. So, oops, make sure we are on our mummy. There we are. So we have our death, our walk, and our attack. And I'm going to go back into our mummy, and there is a hit one there. Here, got hit. And so if we play that, you can sort of see he staggers backwards. We're going to do sort of the same thing with an event in there. And so when he's an event, we're just going to sort of pause it, prevent him sort of from walking on and so on. So it should be pretty straightforward here. I'm going to grab got hit and drag it in around here. Now the got hit one is also going to come from the any state. So we're going to make a transition, any state there. I think we should add another parameter, which will be a trigger, and that will be hit. And we'll just sort of clean this up a little bit here. I'm going to move the death one there because that one's sort of final. This got hit, it will, if he gets hit, he'll stagger, but then he'll go back into walking, right? Because he's still alive. So I'm going to make a transition to walk with that. And I'm just going to clean these up a bit just to keep them all nicely thing. I'm just going to call that death. I'm going to call this one hit. I'm going to call this one maybe move instead, or movement instead of walk, because we're not really going to deal with different types of walking. And then attack could just be attack there. Doesn't do anything, but just makes it a little cleaner there. Good. So we've got these. Just trying to think here with the hit. I think we're good. So I think everything is good here. So the idea is that, again, if he's in any state and then gets hit, there's no exit time because we just automatically go into that hit animation. And here we do have that exit time so that he completes his hit animation before he starts to walk again. Now we're going to do that same thing with the events. So if we click on the mummy LP, where are we there? There we go. And we go down to the got hit. Basically, we want to put that event in. So just scroll down near the bottom and the event. And what we want is, let's just play this, right at the end almost. Oops. So right about there is fine. I mean, we can, whatever, right? As long as we know it's over. And so we'll create this. And I think we'll give it a name, event hit complete. And then we can access this in the script, right? So I'm going to apply that. Good. So we've got that event that we'll be able to do. And now we need to go over into the scripts and basically work from there. So in our code here, we have to sort of get to where we took our hit. So let's just see here. Oh, right here. So if alive, or if not alive, die, right? So he's going to die. But if he doesn't, right, we're doing our else here. I'll just put brackets around it too. We're going to say take hit. So we're going to create a function called take hit. And so this doesn't exist yet. So we'll have to create that. And we can just do it below the die or above the die. It doesn't really matter. So void take hit. And what we'll do here with this take hit, we'll turn off the nav mesh agent. Right. Then we'll run that animator. So animator dot set trigger. There we go. Whoops, not target, trigger. And that trigger, I think we called hit. I hope. Maybe I'll go double check, but I think that's right. And now the only other thing we have to do is remember we did the hit completed. So we need to put that in. So I'm going to come down with our other ones down here. So right down here. So these were all our animation events. So void hit completed, I hope, is what it was named. And on this one, this should just get us to do that nav mesh enabled is true. I guess we can just check if alive as well. So I think it's the same as above here. Nav mesh agent dot enabled is set to true as well. Okay, so just a second here. Let's just make sure of a couple things. Maybe one other little coding thing that would sort of teach you is you can create a region in your code. So we had sort of comment here from animation events. We can put a sort of a pound region, and that will start a region there. And so this is called from animation events. And then down here, we need to end the region and region. Good. And so the idea being that this is, you could hide it, right? So that this region here is all to do with those animation events. So let's save that up. No issues found. Good. I'm just hoping I remembered everything from Unity here. So we did call it hit, and hopefully on our events, if we still got the one, that was our hit. Oh, sorry, just a second, got hit. I just want to make sure our events, we called it hit complete. I think that's what I called it there. So let's take a look here and run this. Now I think I've got 5 on this. Oops, I forgot I'm using my mouse. 1, 2, 3. Now he's not playing his hit animation. Did we get an error there? Doesn't look like it. Let's just try that again. No. He's definitely pausing, but he's not playing that hit animation. So let me just take a look here. And of course, what did I forget to do? But on this, right, the transition here, I made the transition. I was all worried about exit time. I didn't set the condition here, right? So if hit, right, is enabled, right, if that trigger is hit, then it should play that animation. So that was the only problem, I think. So let's just make sure. So, okay, so good. He's staggering, and then he got hit there. So if I, once we can only fire one at a time, that will be better. So let's just say he gets hit once. Oh, I'm just trying to hit him once here. There. So you can see he's staggered. So we've got a problem as well. He's not moving again. So we've hit him once. So let's just try to fix that as well. And of course, I think I made this mistake before. So down here, hopefully you can see it, mummy animation event, hit complete on animation, got hit, has no receiver. Are you missing a component? Well, the problem is, I've got hit complete here, and then in my code, I said hit completed. Again, the consistency, right, is important there. So if I call that hit completed, I don't have to, apply that. That should have been the problem. So if I go back and play, so let's just make sure, okay, he gets hit, whoops. Let's just try to hit him once or twice. Okay, so he staggers, but now he comes back. There we go. Okay, so I think we're doing pretty well here. There he dies. Okay, good. So there's a few more things we need to do. Obviously, we need to get this him spawning. We need to do some power-ups. We need to make the terrain more interesting. So there's still lots and lots to do, but I think we've got a pretty good start here. We've got start 11 videos in. We've got quite a bit going on. We can shoot at a constant rate. We've got mummies coming at us. We've got our animations working. Things are looking pretty good. So yeah, we'll continue on here, get some mummies spawning, maybe control our shooting, and also work on that terrain in the upcoming videos.